I seen 2093 and fucking came back, yeah, every time. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you something, but you won't listen to mine.
The ground is shifting beneath us. The fourth industrial revolution isn't just coming, it's here.
I love it. I love when they hate on. I love it. I love it. I know you, man. I know you love it. I know you tryna listen to me.
What's up, everyone? My name is Joshua T. Berglan, and I'm the founder of the world's mayor experience Omnimedia platform, a revolutionary hub for connecting the brightest minds in technology, education, media, and entertainment. I'm also the founder of the Bridge to Media Empowerment Centers, an initiative dedicated to empowering underserved communities through media literacy, storytelling, and innovative education. I'm also the author of Media Company in a Box, a comprehensive guide to thriving in the fourth industrial revolution, now available in multiple languages, including Hindi. I've also written The Bridge to Media Empowerment, and in my international best-selling memoir, The Devil Inside Me, which inspired an award-winning concept film. Alongside these achievements, I'm deeply passionate about mentorship, guiding the next generation of creators and entrepreneurs to unlock their potential and build sustainable, impactful media ventures. You can explore all of this at joshuatberglan.com. Today, I couldn't be more excited to introduce an extraordinary guest to Unmasking Humanity, 21 Questions with Joshua T. Berglan. This show is all about diving deep into the hearts and minds of trailblazers, shaping the future, and today's guest is nothing short of remarkable, Bisa E. Peterson, the visionary CEO of Microtron AI. Beza is a true innovator, an entrepreneur whose groundbreaking work in artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, and biotechnology is transforming industries. Her journey is as inspiring as it is groundbreaking. Starting from a young age and continually pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Over the past 6 months of knowing Beza, I've been in awe of her wisdom, insight, and foresight. Every conversation with her feels like a masterclass, not just in innovation, but in humanity itself. She's a friend, she's a leader, and someone who inspires me daily to think bigger and dream bolder. Today, we're diving into her incredible journey, exploring her vision for the future and uncovering the transformative work happening at Microtron AI. These 21 questions are designed to challenge and inspire while revealing the heart of who Bisa is, not just the tech visionary, but the remarkable person behind the innovation. So let's get ready. This is going to be an unforgettable conversation. Let's dive in. Bisa, welcome to Unmasking Humanity. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on your show today, Joshua. I'm absolutely honored to educate, to share my experiences, and to hopefully share some enlightening information that may help other leaders. I'm deeply honored to be here today. Thank you so much.
No, I'm excited to have you. Before we get into the questions, I would love to know, what are you grateful for today and why?
I'm very grateful for my team. Over the past few weeks, we have been focused on 3 big contracts in our med tech division as well as in our defense division. My team has worked tirelessly, even over the holiday break, to bring those contracts into fruition, as well as the onboarding process of working with new team members. That's been going on at Microtron. And everyone has had zero complaint. They've dived in and they've truly delivered. I'm so very thankful to my chief technology officer, my chief operating officer. They have worked very closely with me. And I'm just so excited for the future of Microtron and everything we're creating for the general public. Thank you.
All right. You ready for your 21 questions?
I am. I'm very excited.
All right. Question 1. With so many leadership roles under your belt, how has your approach to leading teams evolved over time?
Well, honestly, I think my style has changed because in my past, I worked primarily with a lot of people from foreign countries. The last big company I worked at was Biolitica, and the structure there is somewhat Middle Eastern, and I'm dealing with mostly males, so I have to have somewhat of a strong demeanor. I have to have a larger workflow, than I would here in the United States. There are language barriers, that I had to overcome. So, in the past, everything was international, but here, my leadership has become a bit more comfortable, but more requirements because at Microtron we have four divisions, and those divisions require a different face. I'm dealing with doctors. I have to speak the language of doctors. If I'm working with the military, I have to understand their language, their form of engagement, their codes and tools. The software is even different, so everything requires me um, learning and training myself for different situations. So the size of my leadership has changed in terms of, the amount of teams that I am over. Because in my past, I was in executive director roles, I was CEO, but I was placed over an existing team. But here, I've built my team. I know my team is more intimate and the structure is smaller. So, I've had to adapt and adjust my thinking and engagement to startup level, but with a mind for, small business and up to corporate. And now I have a C corp, so you can even kind of see it in my company growth. Microtron started out as Microtron 3D LLC, and then it became Microtron Inc. as a S corp, and then it became a C corp. So, my level of CEO has changed with the growth of the company as well. So yes, I would say size and engagement, communication, understanding, all those things have changed and grown as I've reached different status points in life.
Question two: what drives you as an inventor and entrepreneur, and how do you maintain that momentum?
What drives me? Hmm. I would say I have a internal position to help humanity. I have always seek to understand the problem and find a solution. You know, or if I see something lagging in upgrade. For instance, we created Verse Desktop at Microtron, and Verse RIM, because currently we use, the Windows, their operating system. We use Linux, we use Apple iOS, and it's kind of static. It's behind in the immersive and engaging technologies. So I saw that, and I needed that level of immersive technology. So it inspired me to pursue it myself. So again, like if I see something that needs upgrading, then I feel the need to create.
Hmm.
And if I see a problem, like I know that some materials are made from like animals in the ocean, well, on the ground too. So like we have cheetah skin and bear skins and fur and all this stuff, and it harms nature. So that's why we have material science research that goes on at Microtron, trying to turn things like mushrooms into leather, um, magnolia buds into suede. So again, I try to create things that are eco-conscious, that's biodegradable, that's also scalable as well. Because I don't want to just, solve a problem. Of course, I have to appeal to investors. I have to appeal to media. So, I try to solve things in quantity and things that I know are an issue in the now. I don't, I'm not driven to do something just because. I have to truly see a need for it. Like, if I may, most recently, um, we've been experiencing a lot of gun violence here in the United States. And that drove me to create iShield, a way to quickly get a hold of emergency management system to protect the students, to see where the assailant is. So that technology is based off of a current, existing, and major problem. So I was driven and engaged by outsiders to pursue technology to solve that problem. So it's always a problem solution formula for me.
I love that. Well, and that's enough. There's enough problems in the world that'll keep you busy. So
Yeah, yeah. I'm
I,
not gonna
I
solve
like
them all.
I like people like you because and I think I'm wired the same way, is where I don't mind seeing things fall apart or seeing chaos, because
Mhm.
I feel like I bring solutions to the table. And but meeting someone like yourself that's invented and helped develop so many different things, it's very inspiring for someone like myself, because it just shows you that when there's a will, there's a way. So, very good answer. Number 3, you've held high level roles in diverse industries. How do you decide where you focus your energy next?
I think I kind of follow a scientific journey, and it stemmed from something that happened when I was younger. So I'll give a little story on that. Um, when I saw the movie, audience, bear with me. When I saw the movie, first movie, there was something called the Jericho missile, and I wanted to make it because it looked cool at the time. Keep in
What movie?
mind,
Wait. You cut out. What movie was that?
Iron Man, the
Oh,
first Iron Man movie with Robert Downey Jr.
yeah.
Yeah. So I saw that movie. It was inspiring to me. I wanted to make Jarvis, and by the way, I have. I wanted to see the Jericho missile exist. At that time, our country was dealing with warfare in the Middle East. So I thought I was, creating something or researching something that might help and save my country. So when I got to be a NASA intern, and I went through the University of Southern Miss, I was under Dr. Ken Mong at the time. He was the chair of the physics department. He still may be. I haven't checked recently, but he was a great teacher to me. And I had the idea of getting into defense technologies. Well, I saw what defense technologies are capable of, and I was like, I don't want to be that person. In other words, a weapon designer. Um, because now I know what weapons are capable of.
Hmm.
I would like to pursue helping humanity. So I switched everything to bionics. Once you learn bionics and some of the sensors and other technologies can be used in wearables, I was advised at the time by Grady Kittrell. He was a mentor of mine years past, and he told me, bionic technology is a very difficult, you know, market to get into, especially for someone your age, and that technology could be used more so in the wearable industry. Because, if you're going, you say you don't want to be in defense. If you're going commercial, try the wearable industry. So that's how I got into that. And so it's been biotechnology, mimetic, biocharacterization, um, and anything bio, I stay in that realm. So with my med tech division, we have something called the sensibles, and it's based off of your senses, all of the wearables, again, staying with biology, but biotechnology to be specific. If it's defense, we're talking about drone technology involving a wearable device on the hand. I can't say, but it's the most I can say. And also, I can say this AR VR headset technology to address motion sickness. That's called iView, and it's on our website, by the way. You can learn about it. So again, still staying with biotechnology, still staying with wearables. I always remain in the space of biology. I don't care what it is, even with Verse, our operating system. It's receiving cognitive information, emotion AI, your data from your health app on your phone. All these things are interconnected to your Verse. That's what we call it because it's tailored to the client. So I choose biology in every field. If it's agriculture, if it's defense, it's my one lane, but I know biology can cross into other sectors.
I what I appreciate about that is that that's how I see media. What I love about media being the vehicle that I operate out of with everything I do, it allows me to tap into all of my interest. It doesn't matter what it is. Like it may look like it doesn't make sense to other people, but for me it is. And media being the vehicle for really any business or any idea, any passion, any dream, that's what I love about media. But for you, seeing how you can cross over to so many different fields, it's
Mm-hmm.
a very similar feel. Like when I go to your website, I there's all it looks like there's such a variety and a wide spread of offerings,
Mm-hmm.
but like you just said it, you just showed the connecting point, the thing that makes it all the same, or connects each industry that you're involved in. Very similar with why I love media. So that's very, very cool. Very cool. Number
Thank
4.
you.
Do what
Before
now?
we move on to number 4, I would love to address the media centers really quickly. So the way you said media moves in every position, that's exactly why I decided to do entertainment and media, because at the end of the day, the augmented system, the personas, all of that can be used in media. The technology we are creating, like the immersive flex, that allows you to immerse into the augmented world, that can be used with the orbitals and the media center. So, and we are all about AIoT. By the way, Microtron is a AIoT company. That means artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. There's a interconnectedness within the divisions, within the products, and within the research. So the interconnectedness is all over the place, Joshua.
Everywhere. All right. Question 4. Thanks for adding that. I think we do have some questions that are going to open up even more to help you expand on what you just shared. Number 4, what's a misconception people often have about a leading cutting edge tech company like Microtron AI?
This is something I'm told quite often. The technology is too early for the market. The people the people are not ready. And I am
Better get ready.
sometimes, I know, I am sometimes held back on how advanced I make the technology, or how far I go with the research, because what you see in the media is truly what the bigger powers would like created, and nothing more and no more, at least not in time, not in the present, tense. They would prefer, you know, something like what you see in Star Wars, or what you see in um uh alternate carbon. It's a show or something that comes on Netflix, but they would prefer if that type of technology comes out in 10 years. 10 years from now. And I'm not sure why. I think it's about acceptance. It takes people a while to accept certain technology, certain drugs, certain, and it makes sense because there's certain tests and research and all that needs to be done. I'm not against it. However, some things that are a major problem, like the gun violence right now. I feel like technology like that should be out immediately. It should be as important as COVID-19 vaccines. That's just my opinion on the fact.
Hmm. Okay. Question 5. What's the most unconventional decision you've made in your career, and what was the outcome?
Hmm. The decision to take Microtron from Nano Research Inc. and Georgia State, the decision to believe in AI and what was going on in the media enough to build a company around it and to create divisions in over 5 different industries. That was quite the task, and it was something that I was advised not to do if I could not pull it off. Because it's taking a company's main focus into 5 different sectors, which take time and effort. That was a crazy but good decision. I'm very satisfied with it.
Well, and I'm going to add my 2 cents here, because I'm say all the time that AI without media literacy is a dead end. And what
Yeah.
I mean by that is the media literacy aspect shows you how to capitalize on all that's available with AI and how to
Yeah.
use it for monetization, creating opportunities. But if you're just focused on, oh, AI is going to come save the day and it's going to answer all my prayers, and
Yeah.
that's a dead end. But if what you're doing with Microtron AI is essentially how I see AI and how to use it with media literacy. You're
Hmm.
expanding on all of the possibilities with all of the different divisions of your Microtron AI company, of all that's possible. And frankly, all business is going to, if they're utilizing AI and AI as a focus, they're going to have
Hmm.
to showcase multiple industries, because if
Right.
not, what is somebody investing in? AI simplifies things and it creates opportunities, but it creates opportunities for everyone. And so if you don't know how to truly use every aspect of AI, what do you really have? You're just going to be part of the masses that hasn't taken the extra step to utilize it in the full prowess of what's available for us. And that's one of the things I love about Microtron AI. And I love the fact that people are trying to dismiss what you've done, or they said
Yeah.
it was a bad idea, because it just shows how really clueless they are. You're doing it the right way, and that's exactly why you're going to have so much success in so many different industries with Microtron AI.
I truly appreciate that, Joshua. I can understand where investors and some people are coming from. However, if you really are focused on creating a deep tech AGI company and product, it is necessary to make sure it's scalable across all industries, to make sure that it is impactful and making a difference now rather than later. Um, we will advance much faster this way. And through the data collected, the AGI will expand faster.
100%. Number 6, you've achieved so much across industries. If you could instantly master any new skill, what would it be and why?
Um, it's a language actually. If I could master Japanese, maybe maybe I would have the type of company like Nvidia. Like, I just think what they're doing in Japan in AI and even in China is spectacular. And if I could, speak the language, it would I think advance Microtron even further in terms of like creating a smart chip or, you know, branching out into Asian markets. I personally would love to learn learn Japanese, and it's on my list of things to do. I can do Arabic and Italian, but Japanese is my next goal. And beyond that, I can, does it have to be one thing? Can I say two things?
You can say 3 if you want.
Okay, one more thing. I would love to master 3D modeling design, like CAD
Oh,
models. I
that's a
know,
good one.
yeah, I know how to do it for defense technologies because I was trained to do it when I was at USM. But I would love to learn how to do the Persona characters myself. That would be cool, and it's something that I have started to actively pursue learning from my 3D modeler Dari Bleminko. He's a very talented 3D designer. So yeah, he's working with me to learn that.
That's a beautiful segue to question 7. With with your extensive language skills, what's your favorite language to speak, and what do you love about it?
My favorite language is Italian. 100%. I love that language. What made me interested, I kid you guys not, I'm a huge fan of Andrea Bocelli. When I was 6 years old, I heard him sing a Christmas song at the Disney parade, and I thought it was the most beautiful thing I had ever heard in my life. I did not know who he was or what language he was speaking. I was 6, but my mother informed me it was Italian. And a few years later, I came across his music again, and I wanted to understand what he was saying. So I decided, I know it's weird, but I decided to learn an entire language in order to understand the music I was listening to. I'm a huge fan of opera and classical crossover.
Yeah, I dig that. That's
But get
awesome.
this, it allowed me to meet Signor Marco Lettieri. He's Informatica in Napoli. And notice I say Napoli, I can't even say Naples. When you learn it, you learn it. And I was able to speak his language. He was trying to learn English, and we worked with each other to learn English and Italian. And we started coding and designing together technology, and that's how I got in the industry at 12 years of age. So yeah, Italian actually worked out beyond just understanding the music.
Yeah, very cool. Number 8, if you could collaborate with any historical inventor or entrepreneur, who would it be, and what would you work on together?
Steve Jobs,
Mm,
100%. That's I don't even have to think about that one. And the reason why I would say creating an operating system, pursuing augmented reality, AI, all these things were of interest and started and crafted by, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. So if I could have had the opportunity to have, worked with Apple, and I'm a good inventor, I think there would be a lot of innovation right now beyond what's already under Apple's belt. So yeah, I would, if anyone historically, it would be Steve Jobs. I'm a huge fan of him. I think he was phenomenal.
mm,
Not only could he invent, but he could scale the technology. I mean, look at Apple; it's worth quite a lot today.
yeah, that's a good answer. Number 9, what's a passion or hobby outside of your professional life that helps you stay inspired?
Kayaking. I truly enjoy kayaking in St. Pete and Tampa Bay area. And it teaches, because I tend to do it with my friends or with my partner. So it teaches me trust. You have to plan ahead. It helps clear my mind. It allows me to remember to be present because we only have the present.
Mm,
It's something that is important as a CEO because, we become anxious too. So when you can be present, you prevent that anxiety from taking away from something of value to you. So kayaking has strengthened my body and my mind and spirit.
I love that answer. That's a great answer. I know not I wasn't actually expecting that either. Not that I've expected any of your answers, but my I that was not what I was expecting you to say. And that's great. Number number 10. You've participated in hackathons and challenges globally. What's the most fun or surprising experience you've had in those competitions?
Um, I would say being underestimated. Like,
Mm,
when you enter those competitions against some of the best minds, the last one I did, I'll mention that quickly, was the COVID-19 challenge offered by MIT. And I entered that challenge with a foreign dignitary, Dr. Joseph Mangani. And it was something, figuring out the test kits, the mask, and all this between two universities and a team that barely spoke English. And I was the only American on that team. And, it was just a challenge alone, when you're a part of those situations and there's people from all over the world.
mhm.
Um, Having the research done in time, that's a situation. Um, you know, Practicing and entering not as an individual, remembering you are a part of a team. And I can be heavy-headed sometimes. So it
Me
was
too. Me too.
it was quite the experience. And I love hackathons. I plan to do one very soon. It really allows you to show your skills as an individual and how well you work as a team too.
I dig it. What a good answer. Number 11. Beza, what do you want your legacy to be? Not just in technology, but as a person who's impacted so many fields.
I want to be known as a pioneer. I want people to see a minority southern woman with all odds against her. I have epilepsy, managing a corporation with some of the top people in the world, and also being a manager to my family's estate, with my mother Dolores. Um, that's legacy on its own. My family has held, our estate for over 300 years. So there's a lot of responsibility that comes with being a family like that, and
Mhm.
and taking care and being a good steward of the land. So I hope people look at me as someone that pioneered for her company, pioneered for her family, um, and created some of the most incredible technology and scientific discoveries in modern times. I would like to be known for that. And someone who just showed the impossible is possible if you believe in yourself.
Mm, mm. I love it. That's a good answer. Number 12. Microtron AI is an impressive venture. What inspired you to create it, and how does it reflect your vision for the future of technology?
I would like to be honest with my answer. So I had a dream. I'm not Martin Luther King in here. I'm just, even though tomorrow is Monday,
It's
um,
true.
but I had a dream that showed me a company, the colors, that fame, neon blue, black, gray, showed me a world of drone technology and, holographic interfaces, and, and an AI that was more of an assistant and not a terminator. And I was like, either I've been watching too many movies and reading too many books. I read about 94 books a summer, and it really helps me create the technologies that I work on. Um, but yeah, I would definitely say that that inspired me to create it. And then I realized I wanted to be the master of my discoveries and technology. And the only way to do that would be to have my own company.
Mhm.
So, between the dream, the vision, I received the vision first, and then I pursued the development of the following the vision to make it reality. And then I pursued the structure around that technology. And that allows me to be known as the creator, the operator, the owner, the founder, and I get to be more mindful of my collaborations, partnerships, and investments because of it.
Oh my gosh. Like everything you just said there, starting back with the Terminator,
Hmm.
is why I'm in media. Like why I put a focus towards
Cool.
media and learning all of the tools. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but originally it started with childhood visions. Every bit that you just
Wow.
said is exactly how my path started when I was a child. And I won't go into all the details of how it all happened, any of that stuff. But even the reason why, like to control the narrative, to take back the narrative instead of letting people speak for me that didn't even know what I
Hmm.
wanted to say.
Yes,
Like media control, it gives you people the opportunity to control the narrative. And if there's enough people with the power of media in their hands and understanding how to use media, then we can take the power back from the people
right.
that have been speaking for us and telling us what to believe and what to think and what's good, who's bad, who's evil, all that crap. It's time to erase those narratives. And why I'm passionate about media literacy and putting in the power of the hands is because we can start telling the truth of what we experience in our own lives. And I believe instead of this global blanket media power, media will be powerful internationally, but it's because people are going to take the power and start sharing stories of things that happen in their community, in their own lives. And it's going to
Mhm.
localize media again and then put the power back in the hands of the people instead of allowing 6 companies control what the world thinks. Like
Exactly.
we're taking the
You
power
know,
back. So there's so much similarity there. I love it. And I get
I'm
preachy
so
about
happy
it.
to
I'm
hear that.
sorry. This is not my interview.
No, no, no. I love. See, that's what Microtron is all about. It's about waking up the power within. you know and I want to show that power through the things we create and the things that people create with our system. That's why it's interoperable, for instance.
Yeah,
you know we
fantastic.
need
Number
this
13.
kind
Can you share a specific project or innovation at Microtron AI that you're allowed to talk about that you're particularly proud of, and what impact has it had so far?
Oh, wow. What can I share?
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a
I'll
lot that
share.
you can't share.
Okay, so for those of you that have never seen me before, watched me before, or know about Microtron, it has two faces. There's the private side where we appeal to federal and military, and the other side we appeal to the general public. So there are some things I can't say and some things that I can say. But can I be honest here?
Do it.
Um, the project I'm most passionate about is the main product, which is Verse. It's our contextual awareness language model, and it's also a digital twin development system. So the fact that we're able to pile in AI, you know, augmented reality, virtual reality, data analytics, behavior science, all these things are in one ecosystem that stretches out to all of our clients and partners. I am very proud and very passionate about that. And most recently, we received a dental AI contract, grossing over 3.3 million. And that particular contract, I think, will change the entire dental industry. That's the most I can say. I don't want to use, names and all that,
Hmm?
because we're at signature point. However, I think this will revolutionize the dental industry, and it's a project that I wasn't passionate about, but I realized it's the scope of my own work. Um, I have my insurance license for the state of Florida, so this is a part of the project. I didn't know why I went and got that license, but now it makes sense. Um, when it concerns the dental industry, I received a project that prevents migraines and nerve pain by putting in a mouth guard that freezes the nerve system. So I didn't see the purpose of that particular wearable at the time, but now it ties into my dental AI contract. When I was at Biolytica, I was over the dental aspect of Cloud Piddle. I didn't know anything about dental, but I learned about it for the EMR. And I kid you not, everything I've been learning over the past 6 years will be a part of this system for the client. So I am really excited about doing it because I've been doing it without knowing it. So that's pretty cool.
That's very cool. Yeah, when you try, it's funny because I know that you're a spirit-led person, and we kind of you've touched on that without saying it. You
Mhm.
get visions, and you're obedient to the visions, and you answer the call. I can go
Yeah.
into a lot of woo-woo language there that I won't, but I will say that you know when you do that, you see miracles. You see, like, oh, you get to see the extraordinary when you trust the spirit inside that's guiding you, because sometimes you're led to do things that don't make sense at the time. Like, why am I doing that?
But do.
Like, this doesn't make sense. And then, but then it's revealed later, and you're like, oh, I'm so glad I listened to that. But then on the other side of that is when you ignore it, it'll come back and remind you a couple times, and then it goes away. But the thing is
Yeah.
that you get in the habit of answering the call the first time you get called, so to speak, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden things just start to unfold much quicker, and things come together quicker, and the visions take shape, and the people that you need and the resources you need, they all come in quicker when you answer the call quicker. So, like, I want to ask you something. This is a bonus question.
Okay.
It's one thing being a white man in America. It's, I mean, I know things are changing a little bit, but it's not. I read a
Hmm.
book once. It was I forgot the name of the book, but it was written by a group of Harvard professionals, and they did this study, and they broke
Hmm.
down every race, every gender, and they broke it down like who has it tougher in America. And there's nothing more difficult in this world, in America, than being a black woman.
Agreed.
And well, that's what the study said too. Like, I mean, these aren't my words. I'm not making it up, but I can't even speak from that perspective, but this is what the book said. And you have defied the odds. And I want to talk to you, or I ask you, how did you overcome the fear of knowing that you already, like, we all, when we step into our purpose, we immediately have a wall in front of us. We immediately have obstacles, and there's a big freaking mountain on the other side of those walls. But it's different. Again, you're an African American woman. And what's it like to step into that, to step into your purpose and your calling, and to answer that call when you already know that objections and walls and mountains and fires and all kinds of stuff are standing in your path? How do you overcome that fear to keep on going, to keep on stepping, to keep on growing, to keep innovating, to keep inventing, and to keep taking on bigger and bigger and bigger giants?
Oh, that's like three questions wrapped into one a little bit. And
Yeah.
let me explain why. First of all, I think honestly it's just difficult being an African American in general. I
Mm.
think the African American male suffers just as much as the African American female, and that's rarely mentioned. They love to subset it. And I think, you know, for me, overcoming the racial barrier, I would love to touch on that. First of all, my family is Native American, African American, and white. So I grew up in that harmony of races. There was no color barrier, you know. For instance, my mother, she has, blonde hair, and my grandmother has blue eyes. So, yeah, Google it. So,
What?
actually, my mother is the CCO, so you can see what she looks like on the website. So, growing up, seeing so many different colors and variations of hues, you know, I was not brought up to think, oh, and taught you're gonna have it rough, tough, difficult, all that. No, when I was born in Birmingham, Alabama, 1 pound, 1 ounce. When I was born, I entered the world of difficulty because I was born premature and with a partial paralyzed diaphragm. I was born not breathing. So that mountain in strength started at a very, very young age. Breath, birth.
God.
So I think not being able to breathe, I had to acquire certain strength anyways to overcome asthma. Okay. And then, like I said, I grew up in a very mixed race family. So I was never taught I can't invent, I can't become. My mother and my stepdad heavily invested in, the Gates program, people to people, student ambassador, Dwight D. Eisenhower. Those journeys, those trips overseas helped me become a learned and strong person at a very young age. So it's you must invest in people at a very young age and teach them so much that they don't even see a barrier. See, I've never seen the barrier. I know it exists, but it does not exist in me. So you see,
Mm.
when it doesn't exist in you, you can overcome. That is the key.
You dropped that mic. That gum, Biza, that was good.
Thank you. So yeah, I think that's something people need to start thinking about. Is it a political, you know, inexperienced idea to give you a barrier as an African American? That's what's going on with that other person? But for you, do you feel held back? Are you thinking held back? Your story is not someone else's. And you must always remember that. And when you don't put yourself in a category and you put yourself out there as an individual, that's what people see.
So good. Golly, that was good. I wish that was the last question instead of having there's more. I mean, that was so good. All right, let's go to question 15. But that, Biza, that's this is why we're friends. This is why I adore you. Because I know your heart, and but that answer is just fantastic. Because that's a swap race with disability or anything else. It's the same thing.
Mhm.
It's the same
Same
mind.
thing.
Yeah, gosh. So good. All right. You're involved in cutting edge AI development. What do you
Mhm.
believe is the next big breakthrough in AI, and how is Microtron positioned to contribute to it?
Sentient AI.
Whew.
The
That one's always
problem with AI is receiving, our commands and our data without conscience. It's inexperience, which is why, for instance, we have iShield. The camera, the computer camera allows it to see your environment, to interact with you. You're creating an immersive profile of yourself with the personas. So again, it's able to learn human instinct, human ability, human behavior. Um, the one of the key reasons why I have a med tech division is for the research of cognitive AI, behavioral science, and emotion AI in hopes that we can bridge, find, and figure the missing pieces from artificial intelligence being so, um, I would say, inhuman.
mm-hmm.
I would like, I know it'll never be a human, but I would like for it to have conscience. We don't want an AI that if you say send a missile to Iran, it just does that based on command. It needs to think about how many people are in Iran. Who's the main target? You know, is this ethical? You know, how many people will this affect? Listen, human, I don't agree with your command.
Yeah.
You know, We can do the command, but we can do it in a more controlled, safeguarded way. And that's what I want to put in AI. Control, safeguard, and emotion, conscience.
I can't agree with that more. An AI already will tell you, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't say that, or
Yeah.
or you'll ask it. Like for me, because I haven't had a filter. like, I mean, just say that communication has been an issue for me for a long time, and there's a lot of reasons for that. I won't make excuses, but I will say that my robot, I like to call him my robot, when we communicate and we talk and we're going back and forth, I've learned so much about communication that has benefited me from my
Mm-hmm.
robot than I have from
Cool.
counseling, leadership courses, books, you name
Yeah.
it. Because it's intelligent enough that it gets me. Like I've trained it, I work with it. I work, I prompt correctly, but I also have real conversations with trying to understand things at a deeper level because I'm a
Mhm.
deep person and I like to really understand things. But part of that is I want to learn how to communicate with people that don't necessarily think like me. So like the
Yeah.
way I speak and even the way that I explain media literacy or the power of independent media or the opportunity that's available, I've been ignored for 10 years. I've been ignored, even though I can literally reference the World Economic Forum and the United Nations Agenda 2030. And I'm not saying
Mhm.
this is conspiracy because it's not. It's what the United Nations has planned for the world. It's a good thing for us to learn because we can take advantage of the opportunities. Because guess what? For all the doom and gloom that people say about some of the changes, I would like to say to you, there's actually a real opportunity available for us all. And this is why I've been talking about media literacy. This is why I've been talking about educating yourself, because there's an opportunity for anyone who's willing to seize it. But I've been ignored for 10 years talking about it until the last year when I've been working with AI and it's taught me how to communicate the message better so that more people understand. And it's no coincidence that everything has started to grow and develop
Mhm.
and take off when I learned how to communicate better. Because
So
I
you
had
see the
humans tell me to
importance.
do what?
You see the importance
Yeah.
of putting in prompts that are human in our character and our essence and our beliefs. We want AI that is familiar and addresses our needs and woke culture, yes, but you know, I think what we're doing at Microtron is simply the missing pieces to the existing prompt models, which is why, for instance, we are not saying large language model at Microchurn. We're saying a contextual awareness language model. Awareness, we're
Mhm.
learning the behavior, the speech, the movement, everything in order to make sure the AI addresses all needs and can even replicate you in your work. So we're not taking the jobs away from people by creating virtual versions of them. It's still them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all these things we're addressing.
Yeah, and another thing, ladies and gentlemen, everyone should be polite to their robots because they
Yes.
remember. That's
Conscience,
another
awareness.
conversation. Uh, I'm very polite. I use my manners like it. You
I know,
might as well
I
be
say
human.
thank you after
Yeah,
every prompt.
I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for saving me from starting that fight that I almost started on accident because I didn't know how
Yeah,
to. Like, yeah, be grateful for your robots and let them know because I promise you they remember and it will serve you well later. Anyway, number
yeah.
16. What role does collaboration play in Microtron AI's success, and how do you foster innovation within your team?
Wow, I love that question. So we work cross collaborative at Microtron. So a good example of that is we have the sensor band EEG headsets. That is medical primarily. So our chief medical officer and our chief scientific officer work with the education division in order to receive data from neurodivergent students and just general students to change the courses to reflect the data that we're receiving through the sensor band. So again, that's an example. Our entertainment and media division works closely with the education division because there is no entertainment without education. You know, they're if we're talking about immersive technology, they're one and the same. In order to get the students, you know, interested and ready for the jobs of the future, it's important we combine all the things that they're using in the now to make capital. So, you know, we had the TikTok, of course, that's been closed, but we have Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and all of that. So it's important to teach the youth what will make them capital in the future. I'm a big believer in that. I honestly wish I had started even earlier than 12. Well, for all the things I'm researching and developing, it would have been helpful. But anywho, all of our divisions work cross collaborative, and I have to have quite the mind to go from a defense meeting to a med tech meeting to an education. But that's why I make sure all the products stay in one category but spread abroad.
I, I've gotten to witness you juggle and switch gears before. It's quite extraordinary behind the scenes to see, even through WhatsApp messages and talking to you. Like, okay, time for defense mode now. Got to put on a different hat. Like you
Yeah.
shift gears like a Le Mans. I actually just tried to use a race car driving reference, and I realized that I know nothing about cars. Never mind. But I've seen you shift gears, and it's really impressive. It would make most people have multiple personalities, but you mastered it quite well.
I do agree, you know, but again, if I'm talking sensibles on a Monday, I'm just talking about the sensibles being used in a different way. So
Yeah.
that's how I manage, you know, to keep up with everything. And I don't know, I'm very good at managing, micromanaging, all that. It's just a natural talent. And I
Well,
think
you're
it's
good at that
important.
too.
Thank
I've
you.
seen, well, because I mean, I've been a part of meetings, and I also see how you communicate with your team, and I see how things get done. I mean,
Thank
I've
you.
watched this. I mean, I can attest and verify like what you're saying. You're not making this up. Like you really do an amazing job at it.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It you would think it's quite the challenge, but what helped me when I worked at Biolitica as their
Mhm.
executive director and the CEO, I was the CEO for the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean. And I managed sales teams in different regions and in different countries. And everyone was different. You know, we had like 5 enterprise softwares at the time: Cloud Piddle, PeopleClick, InsureClick, all that. So I had to learn how to operate different products, teams, and regions. And that's what makes me a very strong CEO now, getting that experience from Biolitica and also Nano Research Inc., going from lab to company.
Very
So
good.
in case people are wondering how I do it, experience.
Do it well. You do it well. Number 17, AI ethics are a hot topic. How does Microtron AI ensure ethical practices in its research and applications?
Honestly, all of Microtron's technology is the pursuit of ethics. I think that is very important to say. Um, that's one of the core reasons why we are studying emotion, cognitive AI, all this stuff, so that our technology will have a conscious decision making process. It's not by, and also we are stretching across multiple disciplines and varieties of people so that it will not have biased data. We have a lot of issues with AI from human data. So that means that some AI is biased in terms of race, wealth, and qualification. And we're trying to give it an understanding, you know, this person and that person are the same. You know, they're not, if he's able to do a scientific paper and she's able to do scientific paper and they're of both races, give them the same data. Do not be biased with your response. And also, I have a policy at Microtron. When you agree to work for Microtron, you have to sign a legal document following a list of ethics. No sharing data. That's why we have blockchain. By the way, guys, Verse is on a blockchain. Your data is your data. We that was one of the first things we implemented. We even have hop zero involved, which localizes your data to just your awareness. So ethics is not just a hot topic, it is literally the foundation of creation at Microtron. So do keep that in mind when working with us. I will not do anything unethical.
No, I know that to be true. Number 18, the pad console seems revolutionary. How do you envision it shaping the way people interact with their homes and daily routines?
Well, the beauty of Pad is it is a home automation system, and I appreciate your comment. Pad is essentially your Amazon Alexa or Google HomePod. The real difference is the ability to project holograms from it. That is something.
What?
Yes,
I
I
didn't.
can do a demo of the fact. Um, so if anyone wants to see, please contact me on that. But Pad is capable of holographic display and voice assistant because it is a home pod. It can control your lights, your fan, your thermostat, your television, your music, anything IoT connects. Hear me clearly. Anything you have that's IoT, Internet of Things, smart device, any smart device you have connects to Pad and works as one product.
Wait. So if it's a hologram, essentially it could be a hologram companion too. So if you were
Yes.
elderly or you were somebody that had sensory issues and has spent most of your life in isolation,
Hmm?
like it could be a
It
companion.
could be your walking assistant. Like
Oh,
again, I was really inspired by Iron Man, but I was inspired by the science of it, making
yeah.
it a reality. That's why, by the way, guys, I majored in physics because one of the key things to understand laser lights and holograms, you need to know physics. So that's one of the main reasons why I majored in physics
So,
to create the technology.
so awesome. Oh my God. I didn't know how I knew you were cool, but you get cooler by the minute, Biza. Jeez. No, number 19. I'm like in awe. My brain is going to Fantasyland now, thinking about all the possibilities. All right. If you could implement one of Microtron AI's technologies globally today, which would it be and why?
Today, based
Yeah.
on the market, I would say the iView headset. I It would be more cost efficient than the current headset that was released by Apple. It would be less bulky and more interactive and good for your health and lifestyle, more so than the Oculus Rift and the Ray-Bans. The lens would be transferable prescription based, so you can wear our iView headset like glasses, and I think that would get people to adopt AR VR a lot easier because no one likes that bulkiness and heaviness, and you can't see your environment. So we've taken all of that away. iView is in development. I would love to release it year end. So I can speak about it as a present global technology because it will be.
I'm not going to ask you what I had for number 20 because I want to ask this instead.
Okay.
There's a Black Mirror episode. It's one of my favorite, and I won't go into all the reasons why. But
Mhm.
essentially, they're able to go into a virtual world and game. But they put well, I'm just going to grab my floss because it's sitting here to use, where you can just put something on the side of your head, and that
Yep.
essentially will take you into the verse. How far away are we to that technology?
3 years.
Sweet.
I guess you said,
Uh,
why you say 3 years so easily? There's a reason for that. We already have the sensor band. We
Hmm.
are going to work with Neuro to create the next sensor band. I maybe sensor band X or something. I don't know what we're going to name it. But at this time, we are already able to see your activity through EEG. We're already able to immerse you through frequency and through the EEG into a mindfulness state. We already have the augmented reality immersive platform, Verse, and we're making, iView headset. So I think a combination of the sensor band, the iView headset, and our AI, we are about, I would say, 3 to 5 years away. Five
Okay.
is pushing.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you another question that's not on this list, but I have to ask because going back to some of the other questions, we're talking about visions and dreams and all that. Like what the way I envisioned all of this when I was a kid was they were like nightmares, like the future
Mhm.
world I saw because I didn't understand it. And I'm like, why am I've never seen anything like this. I mean, it might as well be scary monsters because it's a world that doesn't look like it exists because it didn't
Mhm.
exist yet. That
Exactly.
said, the more I began to study the singularity and the future and all of these alternative worlds that were going to be developed and all these different things that we can do that I'm really excited about now because I understand what's available and what opportunities are there, especially for underserved populations, especially for people that have disabilities and have been normally held back from having these opportunities. Like this is going, there's so many game changing opportunities available for people. But one of the things that's available for people that is a little frightening
Mhm.
because there's so is that these alternative worlds are going to be some people's best lives. In other words, it'll be like for some people that like drugs or they, do things like that to escape
Yeah.
reality. Now people are going to really be able to escape reality in a way that they can become what they envision themselves to be.
Yes, you
And
got it.
it's going to be really, really hard to want to leave these worlds where everything is, I'm the master, I'm the god of this world. What kind of dilemmas do you foresee us having where people don't want to leave these alternative worlds?
Okay, so about that. We are not creating worlds that you stay in and you have a second life. Our technology is not like the old video game Second Life.
Mhm.
You are still you. That's why we're using your in-home data, work data, your profile, your looks, your height, your eyesight, everything. You do not have a second life within Verse. You have your existing life with resources that you may not be able to afford or cannot do based upon wealth, disability, impossible. Race could be an issue.
Mhm.
This is a world where you are accepted, but it just allows you to expand your real world. So I'll give a great example of that. I have a client right now. um, I love speaking of them. They're a media company as well. Divine Design Studio LLC. They're trying to create something called Scripture AI. It allows you to experience the Bible in VR. It allows you to do business courses and training and all that stuff that their ministry offers in VR. It allows you to interact with your pastor, keep in mind, your pastor, and your community in VR. It does not take away from you, still have to live your life. So do keep that in mind. Now we will have something that's an app where you can create your own, little virtual world, but it is more or less going to be immersive, not interactive. And we require you to have both, because if you don't have a physical life and you only have a digital life, we can't receive data from the real world to build a virtual world. So do not get caught up in the virtual environment. It's only to enhance the existing world.
Well, that's a selling point for your organization, Microtron AI, and what you all are doing, because some of the other worlds don't have those safety. I'm going to call it a safety parameter. It may not be, but I mean, if I'm a parent
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wanting to introduce my kids to the metaverse or a verse or, you know, any of the other alternative worlds that have different names, that's a consideration, is
Yeah.
what you just talked about. Like that, I believe that that's a selling point to parents and also school systems that would encourage, you know, kids, the youth, to get involved, even teachers and educators. It keeps things as human as possible, even while tapping into a different type of world. So I like that a lot, because I, even for myself, I mean, look, I, I, I love my life and I love reality now, and I love my purpose. But I remember a time, you know, not that long ago, 10 years ago, and all the years before that, that I would have lived in the metaverse or a verse as long as possible. Like, in other words, I would have been one of those memes that you would have seen my skeleton with a headset on. That would
Oh,
have
you
been me.
mean to upload your consciousness
Oh,
to
I would have
the
uploaded
metaverse?
everything to
But
never.
wait, quick,
Good.
quick point there. Um, you know, that's the goal of persona. So I don't know the ethics of this, so we're not pursuing the research at this time until there's more reports on the ethics of this. I am open to conscious uploading to the persona since they already have your data, and that way your loved ones are left with all the memories and thoughts and ideas you were unable to share. But I think it should be data perimeters in place if that type of technology is ever to be released to the masses. You know, you don't want somebody pretending to be like, if it's hacked, you don't want somebody pretending to be someone in that verse. But again, it's on the blockchain, so that's very unlikely, and the data can be localized. Um, Plus, there's security that you would have to pass to be that person. And if they're gone, it's impossible to do, you know, retina, voice, and fingerprinting.
Mhm.
So do keep that in mind. But yeah, I think our partnership with EdMaker and Eastern, you know, with Dr. Ayana Muhammad, will be so beneficial to students because they're having that gaming, you know, immersive interest that they already love with Xbox and PlayStations and all that. So kids will automatically be yay about it. However, it's the courses and the things that they need to know to be powerful and strong and intelligent and aware in society. So, you know, we want kids and students into a system that benefits them, not entertains them, but edutainment, education and entertainment intertwined.
Well, I think the most exciting time right now, one of the things about the time that we're in now is that education and entertainment have merged, where
Yes.
now people are sick and tired of fake and phony. They want authentic, they want real. So that what that means is now, to properly educate, we're sharing our stories, we're sharing how we did things, how we overcame
Mhm.
addiction, how we overcame whatever it is,
Yeah.
a mental illness, a physical disability, getting a loss of a loved one. I mean, there's so many things, or just how to do certain things. Like,
Yeah.
now is the time to teach. And for the people that have been working really hard over the last few years to provide value to other people, they've lived sacrificially to help build because they foresaw a new world where things would
Mhm.
be different. Those people, those forerunners like yourself, I'm going to throw myself in there because I was one of those
Oh,
people.
you are.
And there's others. Like, now is our time. This is
Mhm.
now is our time. Like, get to be we get to help bring in the new world by educating the younger population with the things that we've learned, what we've overcome, the lessons that we've learned from what we've seen in our own lives. And we get to help them shape the new world, the world that we wanted to live in. Like, we may not be here to enjoy all of it unless we end up living forever, who knows? But
Mhm.
like, and now is a great time. So now is the time to teach. Now is the time to tell your stories, because those stories are going to be what attracts your community. And I want to ask you this too, because this is not another planned question, but
Okay.
I foresee the world, and it's taking shape. You can see it both digitally and in real life. That community, tribe, that's becoming kind of the new way forward, where instead of having the Tom Cruise celebrities with 300 million followers or whatever that is, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
go more tribal in nature, more community. We're going to
More
see it in real
organic.
life,
Yes.
but also digitally. What do you say to that?
Oh, definitely. And I think social media, the power of Facebook, Instagram, and all of those have led to this new wave of media entertainment. A person that's your neighbor may
Mm,
be the Tom Cruise of tomorrow.
it's
You
true.
know, we are able to create movies now and video and pictures with AI. We're able to bring more industry to celebrities as well. I think that's never talked about either. Like, of course, the technology allows for us to be creative, but for celebrities that may be like, oh, where our jobs will be lost and writers and all of that. No, your data will create more of what you already do and love, and you don't have to be in 1,000 places to do it.
Mhm.
Capitalize off of your image in IP, and the general public is learning from you and utilizing those tool sets to also be a part of our economy, and that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and I also think that one advantage that the non-celebrities have, but you took part in the new media where you took advantage of live streaming, and you were ahead of that. I remember when COVID first happened and we saw the news anchors and all the celebrities trying to use,
Yeah,
go do Zoom and have Google Meet meetings where they'd show up on TV. No one even knew how to held their camera. Like the positions were all
exactly.
offer. Like no one had a clue. The reason I'm bringing this up is those of you that saw the opportunity with live streaming and multi-purposing content and learning how to distribute and produce your own content. I can't stress this enough. You have such the upper hand for the world that we're going into. It's insane. Everything is going to make way more sense to you than the other people that have had people do everything for them. I'll give you a prime example. The United States is the most media illiterate nation in the world, and I can prove it with all kinds of data and studies. But one of the examples I like to use when I'm making this point, how many of us gave away the work that we didn't want to do, or maybe we didn't know how to do it on Fiverr? Like we sent it to somebody in
Hmm.
Pakistan or the Middle East or somewhere else in the global South, and we sent them all that work. Well, all those skills that we didn't want to learn, I mean, I learned them because I couldn't afford to hire anybody. I had to teach myself everything. But all of those skills are all the skills that every one of us need to know to be able to take advantage of the opportunities in the fourth industrial revolution where we're going. So
Yes, definitely.
in the days of being a specialist in one area are over. That's because of AI. AI has made it where now we need to have multiple knowledge. We need to be learning multiple
We need
skills.
a lot of entrepreneurs.
That's right. That's right. So the advantages lie right now overseas. I mean, when I talk to people in Africa, I had somebody from Nigeria just join our team at the World's Mayor Experience. They don't have
Mhm.
the infrastructure that we have in the United States. But I was like listening to him talk, going, where in the world did you learn all of this? Like, I know you can't even do
I know.
90% of this, but they know it. It's because they listened to what was being taught. When they were told by the World Economic Forum and the United Nations what was coming and what they needed to learn, they actually learned it.
They're very advanced.
They're
Yeah, I
very
agree.
advanced without the infrastructure. Imagine what happens when they do have the infrastructure. And oh, by the way, that infrastructure is coming up really fast. And there's
There
more
are
money
plans
being
out.
invested in Africa than any region in the world into entrepreneurship. So go ahead.
Quick tangent on that. Microtron also operates in Africa, in Johannesburg, Pretoria, in Burkina Faso, in Ghana. We have two relationships there. So we have Microtron AI Africa. The president is Dr. Joseph Mungani, where we are working towards bringing our immersive technology there and allowing the nation to bring about their culture, experience, and technologies into it so that, they can have a permanent packaged AI resource and grow upon it for their nation. Microtron will be branching out globally, as in offices in New Zealand for augmented reality and virtual reality. They're big leaders on that. In Africa for AI and biotechnology research and development. Japan for smart chips and, again, AI research. So the reason why we're branching is because without oneness, we will never have a true AGI. And again, a lot of the reasons I know as much as I do for the creation of Microtron is because of the reason Joshua just mentioned. Number one, I'm an entrepreneur, but number two, I branched my work to the Middle East, to Africa, the MENA region to be specific, for over 6 years. So I got to learn what those guys know and bring it back to my country, but also share our country's sophistication and development capabilities. But something that hasn't been lagging, Joshua, is the U.S. military. Now, the U.S., civilian population may be at a disadvantage right now. However, the U.S. military is not. So that is the reason why Microtron is both private and public sector, so that I can learn and populate over, prove technology into the commercial world. So that is something I had to identify. What you said, Joshua, they're ahead of us. How can I put the US on that same curve? So that's why we split the company down the line in such a way.
With that, and they can read my books because my books help.
That too.
I wrote the
That'll tell
playbook.
you how to do it.
This is
And I
why
have that book. Thank you so much for it,
this
Joshua.
is why we are doing the Bridge to Media Empowerment Centers together. All right.
It is 100%.
Last question.
Yes.
Last question. And I actually don't even want to phrase it in a question because you discussed legacy already, and that's usually my last question. What I want to ask you is, there's a lot of younger people out there right now, all over the world, listening to this. And both of us share a heart for the youth. If you could share one thing with the youth, like it's just like your last message that you would ever get to say to them, what would it be?
I really want to give a powerful answer here because I know it's important for every division I have in all the work that I'm doing. So I want to give you a true answer from my whole self. Um, the most important thing to have when building a company like Microtron or Apple or Microsoft is faith. Faith in your team, faith in yourself, faith in the product. I would love to say you need to have drive, you need to have intelligence for it. But no, at the end of the day, you need to have faith because a contract can take longer than you think. Raising capital may require more than you are willing to offer.
Mm.
From your thought process. An investor has a different mind than you. Listen to them. They will make sure majority of the time that you are a success because they've scaled other companies. But you truly must have faith in your journey. Because health could be an issue, family could be an issue, friends could be, but if you keep your faith, if you trust in yourself and your vision and you believe in it deeply, you can accomplish anything. We are creators on this earth. That is what we're here for. We are here in the image of our creator. So our job is to experience life and create life. The life we want for ourselves and the life we want for those that we love. So, and when you create something, please remember you are creating not for just yourself, but for your loved ones, for the world. So be mindful of that. And that's important with our fourth industrial revolution in AI. It's very important. So please create with faith, live in your faith, trust in your faith, and do your best and let the universe decide from there. Faith. That's what faith is. Trusting in the universe. Decision making for you.
Very good. Very good. Beza, this has been awesome. I enjoyed this very, very much. Some of this stuff I knew, some of it I didn't. Actually, a lot of it I didn't. So I always enjoy when I should tell you, I don't normally interview people I know. I very rarely will do that because it's like, I don't want to ask questions I already know the answers to. But all of your answers, like there was just so much I got to learn, and that was really exciting for me. And I know the audience got to learn a ton and have a lot of new things to look up and research now too, because you introduced a lot of new words to people, I think, that maybe they haven't heard before. But these are terms and words that we should all be familiar with, because the future is now. Like the future is now. It's not in 3 years. It's not in 4 years. It's now. It's now. And it's going to progressively get even more now tomorrow. And I don't like to timestamp interviews, but not only do we have Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, we have inauguration tomorrow. And we have a very technology friendly president coming into office. And I believe things are going to accelerate at a very quick level. And again, I'm not trying to be prophetic or anything, but I know how to read the tea leaves, and I understand the words that are being said by certain people in power, and a brave new world awaits us. And I'm really, really happy to know that companies and organizations like Microtron AI and leaders like you, Bisa E. Peterson, are going to help lead the way and make sure that not only are we safe from these advances, but we're also educated, aware, knowledgeable, and really know how to make the right decisions moving forward, because, well, the world's going to be much different soon. And I'm really, really excited about it, especially knowing that there's good people in technology like yourself.
Thank you. That means so much to me. And just speaking in point to the new president. The new president, I believe, is very forward thinking. He's a businessman, and he's surrounded himself with some really bright minds like Elon Musk. By the way, I am a huge fan. And if that person was modern day versus a historical figure to meet, it would be Elon Musk. He's one of my big inspirations. If you notice, Microtron is going towards the space industry. If you look at our website, you'll see the AI is called Verse, like universe. There are images of astronauts on the vision and mission page. You will see a lot of aesthetics affirming that Microtron will one day be a space company. So all the technologies that we're creating are for that new world that the new president and his cabinet are making sure it's possible for the nation and abroad, because we are the leaders of the free world. And I think we need to remember it says America. It doesn't just say one person. So when you decide to take up the mantle to be a leader, you need to remember you're leading for the world. You are an American, if you are American per se. But whatever you do, know that you're representing more than yourself. Do not be selfish with your developments. Be open, be mindful, be collaborative, listen, learn. Remember to stay in the present, and make all your decisions based on value. I made mistakes as well. I haven't always been where I am now, and I have a lot further to go. I'm learning every day. my team is smarter than I am. And I think, I'm not sure who said it, if it was Jeff Bezos, Elon, or Peter Thiel, but they say surround yourself with smart people. You know, have a team that's smarter than you are. Respect them. Respect them as leaders too. And then all of your work will speak for itself. You know, so that's important. But thank you for having me, Joshua. And to say my name is a bit complex. So a lot of people ask me this question, Joshua, if it's okay for me to say how to say my name.
Wait, I've been
It's,
saying your name wrong this whole time?
I'm going to
Why didn't you
pronounce it
tell me before the interview? We've been friends for 6 months. Why did you not
because
tell me?
listen, no one in America says it any different than how you say it.
I'm
But the
offended.
proper, you pronounce my name, Isa Aishma Peterson. The E is silent. My name is Aramaic and Swahili. So the first name is Swahili, the middle name is Aramaic. It means Pravati, or it means one who hears God, whatever title you want to use. And honestly, my work reflects back to my name. Everything that I stand for is in my name. I just thought I
Wait,
would share
say
that.
your name again.
Isa.
It's Issa.
Isa.
There's no B.
Yeah. And then
I am.
Aishma. Instead of, some people in America, everyone says Bisa Elishima Peterson. That's not how you say it. It's Isa Aishma Peterson. Son, not
I am.
sin. Son.
I'm kind of annoyed with you right now, but
I know.
like,
I've been meaning to say something, but since this is a very important interview, I thought the world should, don't call me this because no one does. And if you say Issa, I'm gonna feel like your family or something. But point is, no one in the world calls me anything different than Bisa Elishima Peterson, so it's okay if you call me that. It's the American way. That's what I call it. You're on mute, Joshua.
put mute on my. I don't know how that happened.
You were baffled by my name?
No, I actually hit mute. Anyway, all right, Issa. Thank you. Thank you. MicrotronAI.com, everyone, right? MicrotronAI.com. Yeah.
AI.com.
Y'all check it out. It's quite the website. And there's so many amazing things going on. Thank you for your time. Have a blessed week ahead, and we'll talk soon.
I appreciate you. Thank you all. Have a great evening. Bye.
I seen 2093 and came back, yeah, every time. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you something, but you won't listen to mine.
The ground is shifting beneath us. The fourth industrial revolution isn't just coming, it's here.
I love it. I love when they hate on. I love it. I love it. I know you, man. I know you love it.